Now, I know this video is late, but if you cannot tell by the fact that I sound congested as fuck, my body is raw with ailments at the moment. So, we're gonna do a fun little thing for this video, something that I'm going to call the NyQuil Challenge, where I'm going to take a NyQuil right now, and the challenge is to get through this video before I start feeling drowsy and have to stop and go to bed. If I can get through this whole video before I need to go to sleep, then I win the challenge. If I don't, then I lose and I have to stop filming and pick it back up when I wake up tomorrow. You might be saying, Sam, why did you take so long to film this video? Why is this video out late on a Thursday when you came back into town on Monday? I didn't. I barely did. And I've been wrought with illness, so I think that I should get a pass. But this week, y'all, this week has been absolute hell. This week has been hell. It was such a mixed bag of good and bad, so we're gonna get into all of it now. The NyQuil was also supposed to help me stay on track and not get too rambly, because we're now on a very strict time limit. I don't know how long it's gonna take until the NyQuil kicks in. I don't take NyQuil, but it's nighttime and I haven't been sleeping well, so we're gonna fight it. We're gonna see, but this story doesn't even start when the trip starts. This story starts Thursday morning, because if you watched my last video, which was in theory my September update, you would see that I talked about school and about not hearing back from school. I heard back Thursday morning, and I filmed a little clip in the moment that we're just going to insert right here.
Hey y'all, I'm not feeling very cash money right now. I'm running on maybe like 4 hours of sleep, and my outfit's not done, but it will get done. Don't I look so cute? Are my cheeks so cute? I haven't looked in the mirror lately. Maybe that's why I feel so bad. But just a lot of bad news today. It's the 22nd, and it's Suma's birthday. I can't believe that he's 23. That's kind of fucking crazy. And he can't do a birthday live because he was in a car accident. And then also, Yoongi left today. But that's not even the worst of it. Remember when I said that my school hadn't got back to me after I had been hounding them for weeks, emailing, calling, trying to figure out when my classes are going to start, anything about my program? I sent another email, a last email, to the dean that I have been emailing this entire time yesterday, saying, considering that classes started on Monday, and it's like Wednesday when I sent the email, and I haven't heard anything, I assume that we will not be starting this quarter. Please let me know when we will start classes. And then I got a call from her this morning, and apparently they did start classes, just without me, because they just assumed that I wasn't interested, even though I have been emailing them this entire time. So she said I could either try to catch up, even though I'm a week behind, and I think that's very possible, but also, like, with the class schedule, it will really impact my work schedule. And considering I'm giving my work no notice to change my schedule, I don't think I can do that. So I could either start now and try to catch up and ruin my entire work schedule, even though I'm literally going out of town tonight, going to New York tonight, and I'm not ready because this is taking up so much of my fucking time. I can't believe I have to deal with this shit today. Or I could wait another fucking year, and I could maybe start next year if they have funding and approval to start next year, which they have not been approved for. So I could just be, like, setting myself up for another years and years of waiting. And at this point, I'm just really considering dropping out. I never wanted to do this. This has never been my program of choice. I did it out of a practicality reason. And it just feels like I'm fighting every fucking step of the way to get not even the degree, because I'm not even in class. It's just to start the program. I've been fighting for like 3 fucking years to just start the program. And at every turn, something tries to stop me. And I feel like I need to, at some point, just take that as a sign to be like, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just gonna stop. Because I don't want to do this. And, like, it'd be one thing if if this was, like, my passion and I was like, oh, I really want to get into this program. I do not care. I do not want to be a nurse. I'm doing it because it's a good job. to have. Not because I actually have a passion for it. I think I'm just going to tell her to put me on the list for next year. And maybe even then I won't do it. I really don't want to. Just everything about this is like such a mess. And all the other schools I tried to apply to as well have been a mess. It's just like nothing about this like is smooth or simple. It's like I have to fight so hard for something I don't even want, and like it just feels dumb, especially when like I have a job. I have a job that pays me well and does not expect much of me. It's really dumb. I don't know. I'm really tired. I have a lot of fucking shit I have to do, but I've had to waste so much of my time getting this shit done. Like, I have so much shit I have to do, and I have to be at work in like an hour and a half. And I literally have to get on a plane like tonight. Like, I don't have time to fucking deal with this. I just wanted to film a little clip in the moment, because I know that by the end of this month, or by the end of this week, I'm gonna forget about this. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm very upset. Because, like, what the fuck? I've literally been emailing you this entire fucking time. And she's like, oh, I just thought, because I hadn't heard back from you. What do you mean you hadn't heard back from me? I've been emailing you this entire fucking time. And even if I hadn't been emailing her, she said, I will let you know when we have a schedule available. And that she never fucking did. So, I don't know. I'm very upset with her. And I think I have a right to be. Disrespectfully, I hope that whole school burns down.
So as you see, this is the shit that I had to deal with that morning. I had a flight at 11:40 p.m. on Thursday. I got this call at like 9 a.m. that day. And I had no time to deal with this bullshit. So suffice to say, I am again taking a third gap year from school. Not my choice. So that's super fun.
But I went to work that day. I sewed so much of my t-shirt. I am so proud of how this top line chocolate outfit turned out, though. I was so worried about it in the last video, and I was like, maybe I won't even do the top line chocolate outfit. I'm so proud of it, even though, again, nobody saw it because it was pouring rain in New York. I am so proud of how that outfit turned out, and when they go on tour, I will be reusing this outfit because the shirt came out so good. It's not 100% perfect, but it's like 98% there, and I'm so proud of myself. I whipped out my sewing machine because me and my sewing machine, we had beef. Like, I think I just never really learned how to use a sewing machine properly, and I don't know what's happened between then and now, but like, me and my sewing machine are just getting along so well, and it helped so much with sewing the shirt and sewing all the things on, like, properly. Like, if I had to do all that sewing by hand, it would have never gotten done. Never gotten done. But because I was like, okay, well, we need to use the sewing machine because we need to, like, sort of get through this a little faster, and I was like, I figured out how to use it properly and how to, like sew so that it all works and it doesn't get tangled, because like before, like when I would use a sewing machine, I don't even think I used it on really thick fabric, but it would just like my needles would always be breaking, my thread would always get tangled, and I just like had no idea what the fuck was wrong with it. I still have no idea what happened, but it started working for this t-shirt, and it worked perfectly, and it helped so much, and it got so much done. I didn't finish it, but it was like maybe a good 85% done by the time I had to leave work and head to the airport. I made it to the airport completely all good, no problems, get on my flight, and because it's a red-eye flight, I fall asleep. And I'm still really tired when I land in New York, but I'm not like dead tired. I did sleep pretty well on the flight. I landed in New York. I did not rent a car for this trip. I'm just taking the subway because I was like, there's absolutely no way in hell that I'm driving in New York City. I'm not out of my mind, actually. So I start taking the subway, and oh my god, the subway in New York is such a fucking scam. Like, there's always like this running joke that I've heard that people just like jump the turnstiles at the subway, and I was like, well, why would you do that? It can't be that bad. I totally get it now. It's $2.90 anytime you pass that turnstile. It does, because like here, the way that the public transportation system works is you have like a Metro card, and like you tap it, and I did not realize that you had this system in New York as well until I'd already bought and put a bunch of money on my Metro card, because they don't tell you this. Because I took the air train, obviously, because I flew into JFK. Also, biggest mistake of my life. I fucking hate JFK. I can't believe nobody told me, hey, Sam, don't fly into JFK. Don't do that to yourself. Especially because you're spending all of your time in Manhattan. There's no reason for you to be flying into JFK. Absolutely no fucking reason. Biggest regret, and it will become important later in the story. I hate JFK. Oh, I hate JFK. But I had to take the air train from JFK into the city, into, like, the Jamaica station, and then, like, the E from Jamaica into Manhattan, and then the C up into where I was staying, because I was staying somewhere on, like, Central Park West in, like, 106, because it was closest to where the festival was, and that was, like, my main purpose of this trip. I feel like I'm already getting tired. It's way too early for it to be kicking in this fast. That's not how this works. I think I'm just tired. I just got off work. And I've been wanting to sleep, and I've been wanting to film this video, but my phone died. My phone, we'll get to it, right? We'll get to it. I hate my phone. I hate my phone. And I've been talking about this for months, but we're done. We've crossed the line. I hate this phone. But, so this is going to be the last video. This is going to be the last video. Okay, well, I pre-recorded a bunch of videos, so anything pre-recorded, but any new videos that are going to be filmed and coming out will be on a brand new phone. And maybe, just maybe, we'll finally get some, like, videos in HD. The only reason that all of my videos are in Max 720 is because this phone, its front camera, will not film any higher quality, because it's that fucking old. If you're ever like, why are Sam's videos so fucking bad quality? Why are they never in HD? It's because I can, like, literally physically not film in a higher quality than what I'm filming right now. But I'm getting a new phone this week, and we will not have to deal with this anymore. Anyways. Okay. I hate JFK. But I did not know. Because you have the O, M, and Y thing where you can just, like, tap your card or whatever, and it, like, maxes out at $34 a week. And, like, I didn't know that until I'd already put a bunch of money on my Metro card, and I felt really stupid. But in where I'm from, we have the same sort of system with the Metro card, where it's, like, it doesn't max out, but it's, like, you get transfers. Where, like, if you tap it somewhere, then if you tap somewhere else within, like, the next 2 hours, then that one's free because you're just transferring from one thing to another. The fact that y'all don't have that for your Metro cards it hurt my brain, because every single time I had to go to the subway, I would have to swipe and pay $2.90. It doesn't matter if I'm going to one stop, I would have to pay. So it encouraged me so deeply in, like, my sense of pride to, like, not spend that much money on the Metro, to just, like, walk everywhere. And it was pouring rain this entire fucking weekend, and that is why I am sick. Because, like, why would you pay $2.90 to go one stop on the Sea Line when you could just walk the 5 blocks? That's girl math. But in the pouring rain, and I wear glasses, as you know. If you see me out in the wild, you see any of my vlogs, I'm always wearing glasses. I need them to see. The rain on your glasses is so infuriating, because your glasses will never be dry and you can't see. It was horrible. But I get my Metro card. I put, like, $30 on it. I fucking pay for the air train. Well, no, I don't pay to leave with the air train because there was something wrong with the turnstiles or whatever. So the air train, like, when I first arrived, was free. Going back, it was not free. But I get it. I do the whole thing. I go to the Jamaica station, I get on the E, and then I head into the city and I get on the C. Another thing of note is that once I land in New York, I immediately go and I change, because I have an airport look, and then I have a going out look. And I have bought this shirt. I think I put it in a haul, like, months ago, where it's an Oh Mighty shirt, and it's pink and it's mesh, and it says, "It's so obvious that everyone in New York loves me." And I was like, this absolutely has to be the fit, especially because it was, like, supposed to be a lot warmer on Friday than it would be on Saturday and Sunday. So I was like, this is gonna be my only chance to, like, wear a t-shirt and, like, look cute. So I had that really cute shirt, and I, like, changed it to that before I head out. There's also, in the terminal in JFK where I landed, there was a Dunkin', but the Dunkin' does not have the regular Dunkin' food that the rest of the Dunkins have. It only had coffee and donuts. It doesn't have any of the other drinks or any of the breakfast sandwiches, and that's all that I order. I order a refresher, and I order a breakfast sandwich, and the hash browns and the mini bagels, and they had none of that. And I wait in line for, like, 30 minutes for them to tell me that they don't have any of that. So that was infuriating. And then I go to the air train station, and then I walk to the bottom, and I find out that they have a Tim Hortons there, which I find very weird, because in my mind, Tim Hortons is exclusively a Canadian thing. And you might be like, yeah, but, like, New York is right by Canada. We're also right by Canada. We don't have a single Tim Hortons here. So that was kind of crazy that the first Tim Hortons I had was not, in fact, in Canada, because I've been to Canada many times. And I never was able to get Tim Hortons while I was there. And the first time I get Tim Hortons is in New York. It was so good. But the thing is, New York food across the board is delicious. I've never gone to New York and gotten food and it been bad. Like, their food across the board is just so good. So I got a little drink there, and the drink was pure Kool-Aid. I did not love their drinks, but I got, like, whatever the number 9 is. It's like an everything bagel sandwich. It was so fucking good, and I was so hungry when I landed. So I eat that, nom nom. I get on the train, and it takes for fucking ever to get into the city. And this is the thing. When I was originally planning this trip, I had planned to stay somewhere in Long Island City, because I was like, well, I want to be in between the airport and where I need to be going. But then my mother was like, no, you should stay somewhere closer to where the festival is, blah, 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 blah. So then I moved to this really nice capsule hotel, honestly. The capsule hotel was actually really, really nice. And it was like right by where I needed to be. It was very convenient. It was like right by the subway station and everything. The thing though also is that nobody told me is that I thought because like the air train station and like getting on the E, everything was like accessible, like there were ramps and stuff, because I have this giant fucking suitcase and I refuse to pack lightly. I refuse. So I'm like wheeling this giant suitcase that is the size of like a small child. Not even a small child, the size of like a middle schooler. It's fucking huge. And I'm like wheeling around everywhere, and then I finally get off the C at like the stop that I need to get to on like 103rd, and there are no elevators there. There's no elevators, there's no ramps, there's exclusively stairs, and I have to like carry this 50-pound luggage like up and down the stairs. It's only like a couple stairs, but still I was like, why are there no accessible stations? Also, I did it because, okay, if you've ever been to the 103rd station, on the C line, you know which one I'm talking about. If you know, you know. And like in order to exit, you just go back out the turnstiles the opposite way that people are coming in. And then next to them are doors that say emergency exit only, alarm will sound. They say specifically emergency exit only, alarm will sound. So here I am, I'm trying to get through the turnstile, but my luggage, because it's so big, will not fit through the turnstile. And there's somebody in the booth, like there's like like an MTA worker or whatever in the booth, like just watching me struggle, trying to like squish my suitcase under the turnstile, and it's clearly not working. And only after maybe like 5 minutes of trying this am I like, well, maybe I just go through the door. And if the alarm sounds, the MTA worker should have told me. The alarm thankfully does not sound. But why the fuck would they have that on the doors if you could just go right through them and there's no alarm that will sound? It infuriates me because at one of the other locations that I sometimes work at for my job, in order to get into the building, there is a door you have to exit through that also says emergency exit only, alarm will sound. And I'm like, if this is the door you have to go through, you have to take down the sign. Because it makes people like me, who do not come here often, think this is the wrong door. You shouldn't go out this door because an alarm will sound. I really hated that. Especially because like, I'm like, you see me struggling. Tell me to go through the door. It was fine though. I go up and I drop off my bag actually at the hotel because I landed at like 8, so I get to my hotel at like 11. You might be like, Sam, it took you 3 hours to get from JFK to Manhattan? Yes, it fucking did. But this is on top of the changing into a new outfit, waiting in line for the food that never came, getting new food, all of this came into. But it also just takes a fucking long time to get from JFK to Manhattan. It's ridiculous. I hate JFK. This is the thing as well. This is all John Mulaney's fault because he made that fucking musical skit on SNL talking about how bad LaGuardia was. So I was like, oh, I shouldn't fly into LaGuardia. I should fly into JFK because I was like, why would I? First of all, I'm not flying into Newark. Why the fuck would I fly into Jersey? I don't hate myself. So I thought this whole time that LaGuardia was the bad New York airport. No, it's JFK. Why would I? I'm never going to do that to myself again. I'm never going to fly to JFK ever again because I hate it. And I can't believe I was gaslit into believing that LaGuardia was the worst airport of the two, because there's literally no way that LaGuardia could be worse than JFK. And after I talked about like how bad JFK was like on my Instagram story, like a bunch of my friends, and one friend in particular who was like there that weekend, she was like, yeah, I never fly to JFK. I only fly into LaGuardia. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me, girlie? Why did nobody tell me? I was under the impression that LaGuardia was bad and everyone just like knew LaGuardia was a bad airport. No, it's JFK. JFK is hell. But we'll get to it. I drop up my bag at the Capsule Hotel and I start walking into the city. And I know that I made like a list of like all the Broadway and like off-Broadway shows that I wanted to see that weekend because I had time on like Friday and Sunday to like go and see some shows. So I headed like into the theater district and I got a rush ticket for Jaja's hair braiding salon. Incredible show. But at this point, it's like 12. I think their box office opened at 12. And like, I can't check into my hotel until 3. So I'm like, I'm going to walk around. Because I've only been to New York once before, and like the amount that we got to explore the city was very limited because we were like a bunch of teenagers and they weren't gonna let a bunch of teens just like roam in a random city all by themselves. Like, I get it, but also like I as an adult now would like to roam around the city. So I walked from the theater district, which was about like 49th, I think that theater was on 49th Street, all the way down to the East River. And if you know Manhattan, you're like, that's a really fucking far walk. It was. And I didn't really think about that when I like had started the walk, because I was like, well, I want to walk throughout the city because that's the best way to see it. You have to like walk look around, be on the surface, because if you're like going to places via the subway, it's all underground, you can't see anything. And Friday was like the only good day weather-wise, where it was like windy, but it was like pretty sunny, and it was like kind of warm out. Like, it was a very comfortable day. So I was like, if I'm gonna do like a walking sort of touristy day, it's gonna have to be today. So I walk 50 blocks. Truly, from like 49th Street all the way down. I walk through the theater district. I walked down through Koreatown. I walked down through Little Italy. And Little Italy was having like a street fair sort of thing, which went on for like 10 blocks. It was fucking huge. It looked so cool and so fun, but I truly did not have the time to stay and peruse and like eat all the food. Like, I had a slice of pizza and it was like pretty good. It was not fresh, but I think it would have been better if it was fresh, but it was still pretty good. And I walked through Chinatown until I get to like, I think it's the Brooklyn Bridge. But I walked to Pier, I think it's called 37, where it's just like southeast-ish, where like you reach the river, where you reach the East River. And at that point I was like, I did it, I'm accomplished. And after that I wanted to go walk up to like the Chelsea Market and stuff, but at this point of walking, it had been maybe 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, it had been like about 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours of just walking. I was tired. It was a beautiful walk, and I had a good time, and I was like listening to a podcast, and I had a lot of fun. And it was beautiful to be able to see the city and see so much city, because like I've walked the length of my city. I've walked from like downtown to like the south end. And it takes maybe like 40-ish minutes to an hour to walk the entirety of the city that I live in. It's pretty small compared to Manhattan, where it takes 5 hours to walk half of the city. Like, it's a huge city. It's absolutely beautiful, and I had a wonderful time. That being said, a bird did shit on me during my walk, and that was not fun. Because I was just walking. And like I said, it was my cute mesh shirt. And then I feel something on like the side of my arm. Thankfully, it wasn't like a major part of the shirt. It was just like the side of my arm. But it was like, because it's a mesh shirt, it's like on my skin. And I couldn't figure out how to get it off, because I'm like, I don't know whether there's no restrooms. I'm just walking the street. Thankfully, I found like a CVS that had like those like disinfectant wipe things, and I was able to clean off my shirt, and that was really nice. But then also later, when I got that pizza, because I had the pizza and so much in my hand, the pizza like slid onto my shirt, and there was a giant grease stain on my shirt, and that I was not able to clean off. So then by the evening time, once it started getting chilly, because it was also pretty windy this day, like it was definitely not like mesh shirt weather. I should have had a jacket, but I only brought a hoodie. And like the outfit would have, like the hoodie would have negated the whole like t-shirt outfit moment. So I was just pretty chilly. But I was like, I'll be fine. By the time evening like rolled around, I was like, okay, it's time for me to change this back into my old airport outfit and just be comfortable and warm for when I go watch the show. And that was a good idea because it was chilly. But around like 5 p.m. once I reached the East River, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna head back into my hotel because it's check-in time. It's like 5 o'clock now, and I'm gonna go check into my room. Thankfully, I get a wonderful room because the hotel has like multiple floors, and like the only bad reviews I had seen were the people on like the 5th floor who had to like drag their luggage all the way up to the 5th floor, and they're like, there's no elevators. But thankfully, I was on the 1st floor, and I had a room with only like one other roommate, and I did not see my roommate this entirety of the trip because she was a morning person, and I certainly am not. Like I would get back to the hotel room generally around like 3 a.m. But like even one time on like Saturday, I got back at like 10 and she was like in bed asleep. And like fully respect to you because you're a morning person, you're gonna get up in the morning and go, but like that's not me. Also, I feel like 10:30 to be in bed is very early, but that's just me. But anyways, I didn't see her once that trip. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know her name. I don't know anything about her. We didn't talk once. And I thought that was lovely. We just kept to ourselves, and I had a very comfortable room. And I checked in and was like, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a nap because I am tired from not only the flying and the having to basically work the day before, but also because of this 5-hour walk that I just did. So I take a little nap. I get up. I go to watch Jaja's Hair Braiding Salon, and I really like that play. I really like plays is what I think I've learned. I'm not a musical person. I think whenever I watch a musical, I don't really like it. I just like Ride the Cyclone. And I feel like because I like Ride the Cyclone, because of how much I like Ride the Cyclone, people think that I like musicals. I don't really. It's a thing that I'm learning. I don't like musicals. I've seen a lot of musicals, and like 80 to 90% of them I didn't like. And I'm thinking, I think for the longest time I blamed it on like the region that I lived in and being like, oh well, it's because I haven't been seeing like high quality Broadway productions, blah 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 blah. But like I saw a Broadway musical while I was here. I saw Shucked on Sunday. I didn't like it. And I've seen bootlegs of Broadway musicals, and I'm like, I don't like them. I just think that they're not for me. And that's okay. I'm really a play person. I love a good play. And Jaja's Hair Braiding Salon, I had thought was a musical, but turned out to be a play. And I thought it was super funny. An incredibly sad ending for no good fucking reason. In my mind, it just ended on such a sad note. And I was like, oh, okay, we were having such a good time. And now it's sad. No spoilers. I think you all should go see it if you're able to, because it's a really well-written, really funny show. But the ending is just so sad. Also, the main girl, okay, no shade to her. I'm sure she's a great actress or whatever. In my mind, she overacted just a little bit too much. You know when people are just like, they're like capital A acting TM, where they're like, no, I can't believe this. And they're just like doing a little bit too much. That was like all of her line delivery. And I was like, girl, we simply gotta tone it down, bring it in, ground it in reality just a little bit, because all of the other actresses like really understood that. There were some actresses that were like, I think because they were playing characters that were a little bit more caricaturish, they like hammed it up a little bit. But all like the main other characters that she was interacting with were like very grounded in normal acting, and then she would just like, I don't know, in my mind she was just doing a bit too much. But I thought that the show was good. I really enjoyed it. And I got a rush ticket that was like in the second row. It was an incredible view. I watched that and then I'm like, I need to figure out somewhere for dinner. And this is where I start getting lost. And for the most part, it's easy to get your way around in Manhattan because all of the streets like have numbers and the numbers go in order. It's very convenient. But when it's nighttime and you can't really see the sign of the next block down, you could just start walking in the wrong direction by accident and then not realize it until you're already at the next block. So I'm trying to, like, first of all, figure out where I want to eat for dinner. And that was not something that I decided before I left. And obviously I can't be, like, on my phone looking at places to eat during the play. So the play gets out maybe, like, at 10 o'clock, and I'm trying to figure out where to eat. But, like, it's 10 o'clock and a lot of places are, like, closing or closed. I was under the impression that New York was the city that never sleeps, but apparently COVID fucking ruined that, and a lot of places that were open late are no longer open late. I'm trying to figure out a nice place to eat. It takes me maybe like an hour and a half to find a nice place to eat. Well, to find a place to eat and then find the place. Because I had found like a Thai place that I wanted to eat at, and it took me like maybe 30 minutes to get there when it was like 4 blocks away. It shouldn't have taken that long. I just got lost. And then by the time I got there, they had closed. So that was on me. But then I kept walking. And that's the thing, is that I feel like Google Maps is not the most helpful in trying to find good places in New York, because I'm like, you just need to start walking. You need to start walking and you will stumble upon a place that you like. And that's what I did. I found like a nice ramen place close enough to the theater district where I was, and I got to sit, and they were open until like 2, and I had like ramen and a Thai iced tea, and it was so good. It was so delicious. I got to sit, I got to be on my phone, I watched some YouTube, and I got to just like have a meal by myself. I love having meals by myself. They're so peaceful and like they're lovely, and the food was delicious. And then I like headed back to my hotel, and at this point it's maybe like 1 a.m. ish, and I know that I still need to finish sewing my shirt for the next day, but because of like the whole like bird pizza fiasco with my shirt, I'm like, I definitely need to take a shower. And I go to take a shower at their like facilities, and because it's so late in the evening, there's nobody in the bathroom, which I love. Their showers though, the hot water is not consistent, and I did not love that, because I would turn it to like the maximum hotness and it would get like semi-hot, but then every like couple minutes or so it would just get ice cold for no reason, and I didn't touch anything. The hot water just like was not consistent, and that was not nice. The showers were also like cubicle showers, so like there was no place to like change. That's the thing, it's like I thought that they were going to be more like gym showers, where they're like wide enough that like you could keep all your stuff in the shower and like get changed in the shower, but I'm like, where am I supposed to get changed if not inside the shower, just like out in the open? That felt weird to me, but figured it out, went back to my room, finished sewing the shirt, got it like pretty fucking good. I'm really happy with it, genuinely. And I went to sleep at like 5:30, and I was like, I'm gonna set an alarm for 2, because 2 is when the gates open on Saturday, and I hoped that my body would have woken up before then, but I was also like, we need to give my body as much rest as possible, because I know that tomorrow's gonna be a really exhausting day. I want to be prepared for it. So I go to sleep, My body does not wake up any earlier. I wake up at 2 when my alarm goes off. Thankfully, though, it did go off and it did wake me up. And then I start getting ready for the day. It takes me like an hour to get ready, and I thought it was going to take a lot shorter time. I thought it was going to take me maybe like 20 minutes to get ready, 30 minutes to get ready, because my outfit was done. But I had to do like a lot of like prep for the outfit in order to make myself as comfortable as possible for the day. Because I wasn't just wearing my top line Changbin outfit, I was wearing my top line Changbin outfit, and then also later in the day transitioning into my PTD Jungkook outfit, where I like had like my cowboy shirt on, because I was like, that's the easiest transition we could do from a top line Changbin who's wearing a cowboy hat for Jungkook who's also wearing a cowboy hat in that outfit. Like, they connect. Which also ended up being a very smart idea because it got very chilly that evening and I did not have like a jacket. Like, I had my top line Changbin t-shirt and then I had my raincoat, but like having the button up, the like cowboy button up to like have sleeves on was very much appreciated, even though the rain does not care if you have layers. In fact, they would like to steal your layers, fill them with water, and make you extra cold. I need to clear out my suitcase because I still haven't done that, and I know that there are things in there that are still soaked with water and are probably growing mold, and I need to really take care of that ASAP. But I am wrought with ailment, and I have not been able to do anything except for go to work. Saturday rolls around. I wake up, I start getting ready. I think, oh, it's only going to take like 20, 30 minutes to get ready. It does not. It takes an hour. And I'm like, well, I need to get there because like the show is supposed to start at 4. And I was really worried because when they have like in the FAQs, like one of the questions is who's in the lineup, they list all of the names in a certain way where they put 3 Racha at the end, and that made me think that they were going to put 3 Racha first. And it made sense because 3 Racha in theory have like the least amount of music that they can perform because everybody else was like an established artist, and I'm like, 3 Racha has music as Stray Kids, but does 3 Racha have 3 Racha music that they can perform? No. They have Heyday and 3 Racha. So I was like, they're gonna put them on first, and I'm gonna fucking miss it if I don't like hurry up and get out. And I was so excited because I was like, oh, it's gonna take a couple minutes. I'm gonna like walk down to the bodega. I'm gonna get like a nice little breakfast sandwich before I head in so I can eat something. Blah 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 blah. I had no time for that. Thankfully, though, I had brought a sandwich with me from home, and I ate that. That was my saving grace. That was like the first thing that I had eaten all day. I don't even remember what I ate that evening. What did I eat that night? I had mozzarella sticks that night. It was truly like the one meal that I had really eaten that day, and it was very much needed because by the end of that festival, I was fucking starving and there was no real food there. They had like snack plates at the concession stand, but no real food there. They had like no food vendors, which I thought was so fucking weird. But I have so much beef for the Global Citizens Festival because I bought the VIP ticket. I bought the City Premium VIP ticket because I wanted to be closer to the stage, and also I have bought VIP tickets before. I had VIP for LA3C, and you would assume that if you have VIP that the line to get in would be shorter because it's VIP. At this point, it's already like pouring rain. It's pouring rain. I'm in my raincoat. I have my backpack. I have my cowboy hat on, and I'm hiking out there. I get on the sea. I get to, they said to get off at 81st Street on like the instructions on the website, but it said also on the website that the entrance for where I was needing to go was 85th Street, and the Sea Line has a stop at 86th Street, so I didn't see the point of getting off at 81st Street when I could get off at 86th Street and be closer. So I got off at 86th Street. The entrance was in fact down at 85th Street. The entrance was all the way down at 81st Street for some reason, even though it specifically said on the website that it was at 85th and Central Park West. But that's neither here nor there because that's not where I need to get in line anyways. The line was all the way down at 89th Street. The line went all the way from 81st all the way down to 89th Street. So I wait in line for 45 fucking minutes to get in. 45 minutes in the pouring rain, in the mud, because the sidewalk is like all cobblestone because Manhattan's super fucking old. And all of like the tree roots have like pushed it up and like made it like impossible to walk on. There's giant puddles of water everywhere. Like, it is already a nightmare just waiting in line. I waited in line for 45 fucking minutes. Just to get to the start of the line. Like, this is all the outside line. I haven't even gotten in to the start of the park. I'm outside for 45 minutes. And I get there at like 3:50. And I assume because it's VIP that I'm going to be able to just walk right in. Because every other festival I've been to, VIP, walk right in. That was not the case. That was not the case. So I wait my 45 minutes. The show starts. I thankfully watch the live stream on my phone, and I'm like keeping track of like what's going on, and they don't put anybody on for like an hour. They have just a bunch of speakers at the beginning, so I don't really miss anything. 45 minutes, we finally get to the start of the line, and then we have to start marching into the park, and that takes like another 20 minutes, and it just takes for fucking ever. And like there's mud everywhere. It's so fucking slippery. It's truly like the most dangerous thing. Like I slipped multiple times because it was just like a really unsafe environment to be in. And like there were also flood warnings this day. Like the rain was no fucking joke. The fact that they didn't reschedule it to Sunday was like kind of weird, but also like I don't think that the forecast for Sunday was any better. So like might as well just hold it on Saturday. I finally get inside. It's like maybe 4:15. Anita is on. Her set's basically over. I miss all of her set. Which I am sad about because I would have liked to see her perform, but I only know her from Back for More with TXT. I don't really know any of her own music. So I wasn't too hurt that I missed her, and I didn't miss 3RACHA, and that's all that I really cared about. So I get in line for merch. Their merch is basically all out. I wanted the like beige-ish like festival t-shirt, and it is gone. So I buy the Jungkook t-shirt, and it is $40 and it is not worth $40, but I wanted to get a shirt, so I got that shirt. I want to go to bed. But we gotta power through. We're halfway through the story. And I go refill my water bottle, and like I get that they give you reusable. Okay, it doesn't make any sense because they tell you that you can bring reusable water bottles into the festival. They also their bag check was so dumb. They said if you just have a clear bag, they're just gonna sort of lift it up and look around, like, and they don't actually like look into your bag. So like if I wanted to sneak anything in, I easily could have done so. That being said, though, I set off the metal detectors because I'm wearing like my giant fucking demonias, and they're like covered in metal. I'm also wearing like a belt that has like a metal belt buckle on it, and they do like the craziest fucking TSA pat down on me to make sure I'm not hiding anything in my like shoes or in my belt. And I'm like, if I wanted to bring something in, I would have put it in my bag that you guys didn't check. But like that's neither here nor there. It just felt like crazy that she was like doing a whole pat down. I had to like put out my arm. She had to like scan me. She just felt very hostile about like all of the things on me. And she was like, I also had like a photo card hanging off of my like belt loop, and she was like, is this part of your belt too? And I'm like, no, but it's like not metal, so I didn't think I needed to like declare it to you, security person. I don't know. I was also in a bad mood because it was taking so fucking long to get in, and I was already cold and wet. That's the thing. Even though I'm wearing a full fucking rain jacket, like you raise your arms to like do things, and the water just coats your arms. It's on your hands, it runs down your arms, and it just so wet for so long. It was horrible. But the water bottles. They say you can bring in a reusable water bottle, and I did with the intention of thinking that, okay, they're going to have like refillable water bottle stations. They don't. They give you their own reusable water bottle that is already pre-filled with water, and I didn't want to keep it, and there's no like recycling cans anywhere available, so I just left it on the ground somewhere in the lawn. And I didn't want to litter, but they did not give me a better option. And I was like, we could have just avoided all this if you just had a water refill station like any normal festival and didn't give us reusable water bottles when I already brought my own reusable water bottle. I thought that just seemed really counterintuitive to the whole, reducing plastic and waste and whatever. But whatever. It's hitting. It's trying to stop me, and I won't let it. But I go and I find a pretty good spot in the line. Like, I'm pretty far back, but I'm not as far back as like some of the people in like the regular GA section, so I'm happy with where I am, and there's nobody blocking my view because I'm pretty tall. Conan Gray gets on, he sings like 3 songs, his top 3 hits, and I'm like, okay, cool. And during Conan's set, there's like this group of like 5 teenagers like right to my left that are really loud and annoying, and I'm just like thinking this whole time, do I move? Because I don't want to be next to them during Stray Kids. But I'm also just like, there's no better spot in this crowd than right here. So I just sort of, I muster through it. It's fine. I think after Conan, it is 3RACHA. But it takes like forever. Like 3RACHA doesn't get on until like 6 or something. And at this whole, like throughout all of this, I'm standing wet in the rain, just getting rained on, just experiencing the water, feeling the rain on my skin. And it's chilly. That's the thing as well. It's like when you're like covered in water and there's also a really strong breeze, you're extra cold, and that's definitely how I got this illness. But 3RACHA get on stage, and it is probably like let's not get it twisted. BTS is my ult. They're my number 1 group have been and always will be. They are number one in my mind and in my heart. That being said, I was so excited to see 3RACHA, and definitely way more excited to see 3RACHA than I was to see JK. Because I love 3RACHA music. I said it before, and I'm saying it again, I am a 3RACHA girlie to the day I die. And I never thought that there would be a chance for me to see 3RACHA live, because they did it at like their showcase or whatever in Japan, and I was like, you just love your Japanese fans more. All idol groups do. And we're never going to get a performance of it. So the fact that we got to see 3RACHA live was incredible. And we got to hear Heyday live. And it was incredible. And not only that, and this is a thing that I posted onto, okay, I'm just going to put it on the screen. This is something that I posted onto my story, onto my close friend story. Once I had finished the top line, like, Changbin inspired outfit, I was like, nobody's going to see it except for, and I just said this like in a joking, manifesting way, Chan is going to see it from so far away, and he's going to be so inspired by the shirt that they are going to perform top line just for me. And they performed 3RACHA, Heyday, and then fucking top line. They did it for me. The 3 songs that I wanted them to perform, they performed for me. And oh my god, I had such a good time. That being said though, this fucking phone was having issues. And it's been having issues, and it's always been having issues because it's a really old phone and it's been dying. And I know that like the battery has not been doing well. Okay, it like will die the second that you unplug it. It will die at 100%. It always needs to be plugged in. But I thought if it's plugged in, it's working fine. Right before 3RACHA got on stage, the fan in my phone starts buzzing at like maximum volume. Like it's buzzing and the fan is going so fast that it feels like my phone is vibrating. And it's like very obvious. You can feel it. You can hear it when you put it to your ear. It's like buzzing. And I'm like, my phone just might explode. There's nothing I could do about that. Because 3RACHA are going to get on stage, and I filmed their whole performance. And it wasn't until I go back and I watch that video that you can hear the buzzing in the recording so loud that you can barely hear what they're singing on stage. So it ruined the entire fucking recording that I have of it, and it's not that big of a deal because it was like filmed and like it's on YouTube. But my video of it is fucked up, and I will never forgive that betrayal from this phone. That sealed it for me. I'm getting my new phone, and I'm getting it this Friday, and I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with it anymore. I'm not doing it. And I don't want to give up this phone. That's the thing, is that I really, like, despite all of the struggles and issues I've had with this phone, I love this phone. I've had this exact phone for over a decade. So to give it up, it's the only smartphone I've ever had. Like, to give it up is such a big decision, and that's something that I feel like a lot of people, when I mention this to, like, fully understand that. Like, getting a new phone is a really big deal. Like, it's basically like a marriage. Like, I've been with this phone almost all of my life. Like, half of my life I've spent with this phone. So to, like, basically divorce it and move on to something new just is such a big change, and I've been trying so hard to avoid it, to stop. And in theory, I could go to the Apple store and I could pay to, like, get the battery replaced or whatever, but it's just, I gotta just put the phone out of its misery. I need to move on, and I need to get a new phone. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna do it this week. But 3RACHA have a fucking incredible performance. I am screaming along to every word. I know every lyric. I have my Dweki doll. Every time I see Changbin, I shake it in the air so hard so that he knows I'm there to support him. And they just have an incredible fucking performance. An incredible performance. Y'all, I'm getting so tired. Y'all, 3RACHA and Heyday. 3RACHA. So good. My god, it's hitting so hard. I'm so tired. Oh no, I hate this. I gotta be strong. We're almost done. I feel like I'm moving so slow. Oh, I hate this. But it's coming for me. I'm not gonna lose the challenge though. We gotta keep going. So they perform. They do only those 3 songs, and then they get off stage, and then there's so many speakers. There's so many speakers during this, like, festival, and I get it, the whole point is about being a global citizen and promoting change, blah, 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 but there's so many people just talking. And by the end of the festival, people do not care, because we're all fucking tired and cold and done, and, like, I should have left before the Red Hot Chili Peppers even came out because I don't know them and I don't care about the music, but I did stay all the way through their set until they started to kick us out. Like, I stayed for the entire fucking thing because I was like, I'm gonna get my money's worth. And I fully did, but my god, I should have just left after Lauryn Hill. It was not worth it to stay for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But 3RACHA get off stage, there's like a bunch of people who fucking just talk. And like a bunch of stays like leave once like Stray Kids are done. So then like I move up a little bit of the crowd. And then I think, was DJ D Nice next? I think he might have been, and then it was Jungkook. And DJ D Nice was like, he had a really good set. He's a really good DJ. I could feel myself just talking slowly. And I cannot pick up the pace. It's like an active effort to try to speak any faster than I'm speaking right now. Oh, I hate this. And like, he brought out like Busta Rhymes and Common and Rhapsody and just like a bunch of really cool artists. And it was really, really cool to see. I never thought I would get to see any of those artists, but now I say that I can. Now I can say that I have. It's hitting. Anyways, Jungkook gets on fucking stage. I lose my mind because I never thought that I was going to get to see him live. I hope that now apparently he's coming out with a song with Jack Harlow tomorrow, that he's going to do more US performances, more opportunities for me to see him. Please, something on the West Coast, please. Because I want to see him perform 3D, whatever 3D ends up being so bad. But I did get to see him perform 7. And I got to see him perform Euphoria and Still With You. Never in my wildest dreams did I think he was going to perform. Well, I did. Because I was like, well, what songs can he perform? And I was like, Euphoria, 7. And then I was listening to like their solo music on the flight over, and Still With You came on shuffle. And I was like, he might perform this as well. So I didn't predict it. But if you told me when I first heard Still With You that I would be able to hear it live, I'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe in a group tour. But I never thought that I would be able to like a full JK solo concert here Still With You live. But incredible. And then he does like a mega mix of like BTS's 3 big English singles, which I'm like, obviously. But that meant that they did Permission to Dance. And as you know, I am also in my Jungkook Permission to Dance outfit. It's like my outfits had Conjuring setless powers, and I thought that that was super cool. Like my Top Light outfit brought them out to perform Top Light, and my Permission to Dance outfit brought him out to perform Permission to Dance. And I thought, I don't know, just pretty cool, pretty fun. That being said though, when he's performing 7, in the middle of 7, even though my phone is plugged in, it fucking dies. And that is a new issue that I'm having with this phone, where even when it's plugged in and charging, there's something wrong with the charging port. I think when that whole like fan thing happened, it overheated and it like burnt out the charging port or whatever. Because now when I plug in my phone, sometimes it just will not register. It doesn't matter what cord it is, it's something wrong with this phone, where it just will not charge anymore. And like that's an issue I cannot deal with. So even if I do replace the battery, like that charging port is gone. There's nothing I can do. And I just replaced this fucking charging port too, and I think that might be it. The fact that this is like a different charging port that came with the phone, because I replaced it like a year ago, so it really should be fine, but whatever. I just need a new phone, that's the thing. And my phone dies in the middle of 7, which I thought was just very acceptable. I missed the entire fucking second verse of 7 because my phone was dead in the middle. Thankfully, I started filming right before the bridge, and would you fucking guess it, Lotto walks on stage to do her verse. I lost my mind because I was not expecting Lotto. That's the thing as well, because I saw on Twitter or on like social media or somewhere that Anita had posted a photo where like it was like the dressing room like signs, and it said Anita and Lotto, and I was like, that's so funny. I didn't know Lotto had a song with Anita. Stupid, dummy. It truly did not cross my mind for 1 second when I saw that Lotto was gonna get on stage and do 7. That was crazy. And I like just barely caught like her performance when my phone turned back on, and I was so, oh my god, it was incredible. And that's the first time that they performed it live together, and I was there for that. That was very iconic. And he put on an incredible performance. That being said, I feel like because 7 just came out, I haven't really been fiending to hear 7 live. Like 7's a great song, but like I love 3 Racha. I love Heyday. And I've been waiting for like a year to hear those songs live. So I was like so excited when I heard those live. Again, I love JK, but like just those songs did not give me, I think also because at this point it's like 7 or 8 p.m. I am exhausted. So the amount of energy that I had when 3 Racha came on stage was not the same energy that I had when JK came on stage, and that is very unfortunate. I wish I was able to be like more hype and excited when he came on stage, but I was just like a little bit like, woo! Like I had a good time and I was like, yeah. But like when 3 Racha came on stage, I was screaming, I was jumping, I was losing my fucking mind. I think also because I was just so relieved that I didn't miss their set. Because there was no doubt in my mind that they were going to put JK on towards the end. It was incredible. And I got to see it, and I had such a good time. And then I stayed a little bit longer. There's a bunch of more speakers, and then Lauryn Hill comes on. Apparently, Lauryn Hill brings out the Fugees. And as somebody who's never listened to the Fugees, who has no idea who they are, apparently she was a part of the Fugees. It was her and those two other guys that she brought on stage. Who would have thunk it? I'm realizing how long the story is and how much more I have to talk. Oh, God. The story is very fucking long. It's okay, we're gonna get through it. And her set was really good. I don't really listen to Lauryn Hill, so I heard the songs she was performing I was hearing really for the first time. And she had a great set. I thought it was also very funny how throughout the set you can see her like on camera like pointing to her in-ear and like pointing to somebody off stage and being like, and like it goes on for like 5 minutes and I'm like, the sound people need to get it together. She's clearly saying to turn down her fucking mic. In her in-ear, it's too loud. And she has a great set, and I tried to film all of it because I thought she was only going to do like a couple songs like everybody else. No, she performed like 8 or 9 or 10 songs. So she performed a lot more than the other people performed. Oh, also, at some point, Sophia Carson comes on stage and she sings. Who was going to tell me Sophia Carson was a singer? I had no idea that she sang. And apparently she doesn't because she performed 2 songs. One of them was not even her own. She sung Imagine by John Lennon. And I'm like, why would you do that when you know what happened the last time a bunch of celebrities got on like the public sphere and sung Imagine? Why would you do that to yourself? It was, I don't know, I thought it was a bad look. I thought it was a little bit embarrassing, but that's just me. I also think she's not a great singer, but like, that's just me. But Lauryn Hill, she does her whole set, that's great. It's like 9:15 at this point, and I'm like, I gotta wait for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Because I gotta get my money's worth and see everybody in this lineup. So, like, a bunch of people leave again, and after everybody set, like, a little bit more people leave, and I'm, like, slowly closer to the front. By the end of the show, I'm, like, 2 people from Barricade. And not Barricade, but Barricade in my section. So I'm pretty close to, like, as close as I can be. And I'm waiting, and it's fucking cold, and I'm covered in rain, and it's, like, 9 p.m., so I've been there for, like, 6 hours. I've been out for 6 hours at this point. I'm fucking exhausted, and I'm freezing, and I really, truly want to go home, and I'm getting very hungry at this point. But I'm like, I gotta stay for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They said that the venue's only gonna end... No, because she ended at, like, 8:30 then. 8:50? She ended before 9. Because I remember seeing my phone, like, it being right before 9, and, like, being like, I only have, like, an hour left. So maybe she ended, like, 8:45. I don't know. Watch the live streaming, you'll figure it out. But I'm like, they said on the website that the festival's gonna end around 10, so I'm like so close to the end. I need to just stick it out, I'll be fine. That being said, there was a family who was standing in front of me and they were pissing me the fuck off. It was like the 2 moms, or like a mom and an aunt, or like a mom and a best friend, and like they both had like their teenage sons with them, and one of the teenage sons was standing right in front of me, and the other one was standing like behind me because he couldn't like squeeze up with them, and I was like, I'm not gonna give you my spot. This is my spot. But the son who was in front of me like clearly did not have like the physical strength to be in the pit anymore. And he kept, like, trying to, like, stretch and move, and he kept, like, bumping into me, and even his family was like, hey, watch out, there's somebody behind you. They don't want you touching them. But he did not care. And completely, like, all the way leading up to when the Red Hot Chili Peppers got on stage, and even during the Red Hot Chili Peppers set, he's, like, clearly, like, uncomfortable standing for this long, and he's like complaining about how much his back hurts, how much his knees hurt. I'm like, yeah, that's like the whole thing about being in the pit. The pit's like, if you can't handle being in the pit, get the fuck out. Like, nobody's forcing you to be here. And like, he was like maybe 15. He was like very much capable of like standing like to the back by himself. And like so much so that like during the Red Hot Chili Peppers set, he like sits down in the pit, and I'm like, you're not watching anything, get out. Like, it felt childish and immature and selfish, and I hate that kind of behavior in the pit. Like, just don't do it. It's simple etiquette. Like, get the fuck out. But I stay, and I watch the Red Hot Chili Peppers set. I do not know a single Red Hot Chili Pepper song, except for that California one. Even then, I don't know the song that well as the... That one. Don't know a single word. Just know of the song. I think I've heard it in passing. Only song that I knew. And even then, they weren't like, okay, I'm very biased, but they didn't have, like, they were good musicians, but, like, their stage presence was very boring. Like, they just sort of had the attitude, like, oh, everybody knows who we are, and they're here to see us. And I'm like, in theory, yes, the white people in front of me went fucking crazy. I, as somebody who has no idea who any of you are or what music you do, and I've never really listened to the Red Hot Chili Peppers in my life, and who, for the majority of my life, thought that the Red Hot Chili Peppers were just the Double Dutch group in Jump In, no idea that they were a real band for the majority of my life. Then I feel like they should have done a little bit more crowd work, a little bit more, hello, we are blah 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 blah, thank you for blah 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 blah. Not enough crowd work, in my opinion. So they were kind of boring. And I should not have stayed for their set. I should have left after Lauryn Hill, and I should have gotten some food, and I should have went to bed. But I was like, I only have a couple days in New York, so I'm not going to go to bed. So the Red Hot Chili Peppers set ends. It's like 10-ish, 10:30. My phone, of course, is dead for no good fucking reason. I go and I make it out of the festival. Okay. Right when the festival ends, though, I take a couple photos, and then I try to see if there's a secondary merch stand in which they're selling, like, the merch that I really wanted when I first got there, like the group shirt. And I don't, it's just so big. My God, the Great Lawn is so big, and I don't find a fucking, merch stand, so I just exit. I exit the park, and I go sit at one of the benches, like, right outside of it, like, on the sidewalk, because I'm like, I need to sit, because I've been standing for so fucking long, and I'm in so much pain. And then I'm like, I need to find somewhere to eat. But also, I really wanted to see a comedy show during, like, my time there, because I know that, like, New York, similar to LA, like, the comedy scene is really good there, so I was like, I want to see a comedy show. And I saw that at, like, the comedy club that Chris Red was going to be performing this night. And I know of Chris Red. I've seen SNL. So I was like, okay, I should go see that. So then I go and I drop off all my stuff at my, like, hotel. Like, the capsule hotel that I'm staying at. And again, it's, like, maybe 10:30. 10:30, 10:45, and, like, my roommate in bed asleep. Crazy in my mind. But I take out my stuff. I put down my bag, like, and everything in my bag is covered in water. My Jungkook photo card! I put a fucking Jungkook photo card on the side of my bag, and the water damage. Oh, such horrible water damage on that photo card. It makes me so sad. I should have double sleeved it. I just didn't think that, like, that was a thing I had to worry about. I should have double sleeved it. I now know. I know for next time I will double sleeve it. And it's not like a rare Jungkook photo card. It's one that came in the set for proof. So, like, it will be easy to get another one, but it's still just like, fuck, man, come on. I fucking hate all the stupid rain ruining all my shit. Like, my Dweki dolls were, like, soaked in water, and, like, everything in my bag was wet. Like, and I don't even know how, because the bag stayed closed, and I even put a poncho over my bag so that it would, like, it just was covered in water, and it was horrible. But I drop off my stuff, and then I head down to the comedy club. I get there around 12, and I know because it said on the website, like, you could make a reservation, basically, like, securing a ticket in order to go in and see the show, but, like, I didn't do that in advance, so they were all sold out. But it said on the website, like, you could show up, and they will, like, give you, like, a spot, like, a first come, first serve sort of thing for anybody who cancels, so that they can still fill up the club. So I show up, and I find the entrance, and there's, like, these two guys sitting on the steps, and then one guy who's, like, standing and talking to them. I go up to them to, like, ask, hey, how can I get, like, a ticket to the 12:30 show? And the guy who's standing on the corner is, like, joking with me, and, like making, like, fun, polite conversation, some fun banter, but then the guy on the steps is, like, I don't know. The guy who I was talking to later said that the guy on the steps was being rude, but I just thought he was being, like, a direct, like, as New Yorkers are. Where, like, I was chatting and talking with the guy, and he said, oh, well, these are the guys who, like, these are the security guys who are gonna let you in, so you should ask them. And I said, okay. And then, like, I turned to the guy, and he's like, are you done talking? Are you gonna ask me, blah, 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 blah. And I thought he was, like, being sarcastic and joking. Like, I didn't really take it that personally. So then, yes, I asked him, like, what can I do to get in? And the guy says, they're all full for the 12:30 show. The only one that they still have spots for is the 12:55 show later. And that if I wanted to go, it would be at the door around the corner. And at that point, once I heard that, I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna stick around for, like, another hour. I'm just gonna get food somewhere and then go home. But then the guy who I was talking to, who was, like, standing next to me, he was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna take you around the corner and, like, walk you there. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, if this guy's going to be, like, polite and try to make sure that, like, I get in and I know where I'm going, then I'm gonna feel, like, socially obligated to put my name down for the 12:55 show. So I'm like, great, okay, I have to do that. Because I was just fully anticipating, like, walking down the street and, like, not going to the 12:55 show. But this guy ends up being very, very kind, very nice. And he's like, it's just you that's going? And I'm like, yeah, it's just me. And he's like, okay, then just come with me. I'll get you inside. And I said, okay, I will not bite the hand that feeds me. I will not say no to a good thing. And apparently it turns out that he was one of the people, like, performing that night. And I did not know this, because, again, the only person I knew on the lineup was Chris Red. And he takes me into the club. He, like, walks me past all the security people. He, like, says hi to a bunch of crew as he's going in. He's, like, apparently very well loved, very well known. And he's like, this is my friend Sam. Sam's with me. And they're all like, okay. And they just let me in. They just let me in. Y'all, this was such an incredible experience, such an incredible night, because as you know, I am on my celebrity journey. It's happening in small increments, moment after moment, and this felt like so affirming because he sits me down in like the VIP section. He's like, is there anything that you want to like eat or drink? And like I get mozzarella sticks, I get a soda, mostly because like I did not want to drink. One, I'm not a big casual drinker, but also like I've heard some unfavorable things about comedians in the past, and I was like, I would like to have my wits about me just in case something goes sideways. You can never be too careful, you know, by yourself in a city. Never be too careful. He sits me down and I'm like sitting in the VIP area and I'm just like enjoying the show. I get to meet Chris Red because he's also in the VIP area. I get to meet a bunch of the other comics that night. And then one of the members of the Fugees, Wyclef Jean, comes in and he sits in the VIP area with me. So I am of the level with Wyclef of the fucking Fugees to be sitting in this VIP area. And like all throughout my head, I was thinking like, oh my God, people must be thinking that I am also important, like Wyclef, to be sitting in the VIP area. And then I had to stop myself and be like, no, it's because you are important. And it's just like that manifestation affirming. It was just like I said, it was a very affirming moment to be like, I am somebody of importance. I am of celebrity status. I am somebody worthy to be sitting in the VIP. All of that. Great for the manifestation, great for the mind, great for the ego. So that I get to watch the show. I have a great time. Those mozzarella sticks were delicious. And they say, like, the show ends, it's like 2:00, and they say, in order to get out, you need, like, your bill that's, like, stamped to prove that you, like, paid your tab and you can leave. And then I never get a bill. So then I talk to the security on my way out, and I'm like, hey, I never got, like, a bill. And they saw that I came out of the VIP area, and they were like, oh, you're with so-and-so, the comedian that, like, brought me in. And he was like, you're good, just go. And I said, thank you. And I know 100% what got me in was pretty privilege. And pretty privilege is real and it is working, ladies. And I love that it's working for me. Because that comedian, like, while he was just sort of like a nice, truly stand-up, pun intended, guy, it was clear that he let me in because I'm pretty. And, like, I am not above that. I think more people need to be treating me better because I'm pretty. Like, I feel like pretty privilege is real and it needs to work in my favor more often. I feel like people here do not treat me better because I'm pretty. And I don't like that. That's my least favorite thing about feminism. I need to be treated better. I need special treatment. I need bills paid. I need bills comped. I need free entry. I need VIP service because I am pretty and I deserve it. So simply. So that was so nice. I now follow this comedian on Instagram and I told him if he's ever in the area, I will come through and support. Just as like a little thank you and to build up, you know, my circle of people who support the fact that I'm pretty and need to be treated well. So just cute fun things that happened that evening. Really a fucking crazy surreal experience. Had a great time. Like I got to meet a lot of cool people and experience like VIP treatment, which I think is very deserved. And I am manifesting that more experiences like that happen in my future. The NyQuil is now worn off. I fought through everybody. But that night ends. I go back to my hotel, I go to bed, and I know I have to wake up early-ish the next morning because I need to go see 2 Broadway shows. I need to see a matinee and an evening show. And I read when I went to go see the first play that I saw on Friday that their box office opened at 10 for matinee. So I was figuring I should get up pretty early and go down to the theater district in order to like go to the box offices when it opens, get a rush ticket for a matinee, and then go to like L's Stardust Diner or something for breakfast. That does not happen. Even though I set a bunch of alarms to wake me up early in the morning, I don't wake up until like 1, which makes sense. I'm tired. It was a very exhausting day the day before. And I head into the city and I go see Shocked. Because I was like, well, I had planned for that evening to see The Play That Goes Wrong. Because I have seen like videos of it like on YouTube and stuff. And I thought that was so funny. So to see it live was like a big goal of mine. So I was like, I'm going to see that in the evening. And I'd already seen a play on Friday. I should see a musical at some point. And Shucked had Alex Newell of Glee. And they are iconic. And they had just won a Tony, like at this last Tony Award. So I was like, I should go and see what like this new musical's about. And like a lot of people have like in my mind, very valid criticisms about the quality of new musicals. And as a whole, I do prefer older musicals. Like, I really liked Hello Dolly when I saw it on Broadway. And I think newer musicals just, like, fall into sort of a new musical sort of cliche, tropey sound and style that I don't really love. And I do feel like Shucked also did that. I don't really care for the story of Shucked or for most of the music. But that being said, Alex fucking ate their performance. They were so fucking good. They have like a solo number called, I think, Independent, and they brought the house fucking down. They were the only number that got a standing ovation. Like, the whole play had to stop because everybody had to stand up and just go, wow, absolutely fucking incredible. They are so fucking talented, and they deserve that last Tony, and they deserve another Tony for this performance. And in the story, they have like a wonderful like enemies to lovers arc, and they're such a good actor, and I love them so much, and I hope that they continue to win more Tonys and that Leah Michele gets nothing. But that's what you missed on Glee. It was a great show. And during intermission, I got a nice little like drink and stuff, because also I did not eat this morning, so I was really hungry when I woke up. So I had to go to like the concessions and like get a snack. So I got some trail mix and I got a drink. Even though I was telling myself, like I said before, I'm not a big drinker. I don't need a drink. But I was looking at the list of drinks that they had like a spiced rum drink, and I am a bourbon girly, unfortunately. So I was like, when in New York? We're in New York. We might as well pay $24 for a fucking cocktail. For a double, it was $48. $48 for a double. That's absolutely fucking insane. But I was like, we're supporting the arts, so it's fine. So I got my drink, and it comes in like a cute little souvenir cup, which I did bring home. And I watched the rest of the show, and it's really funny because at like the intermission, the song after intermission that starts Act 2, they talk about how like the show is going to be better after you get a little bit of a drink, and like they were right. The show did improve after I had a little bit of a drink, because I don't know, I just don't really care about that story. It's in my mind, the musical is very meh, but Alex's performance is incredible and very much worth seeing if you are in New York. Incredible. And then the show ends at like 5-ish, and then I'm like, okay, I need to get to the play that goes wrong, and on the way there, I need to stop at Times Square, and I need to go to the line front store, because I was supposed to do that on Friday, and I did not have time, because of everything else I was doing Friday that I mentioned. So I head into Times Square, and I see Jungkook on a fucking billboard, and I see it's like his concept trailer for 3D, the thing that he had just teased at the end of his performance at the Global Citizens Festival. So I started filming it because I was like so shocked, because first of all I was just like taking like photos, and I was like looking around, and I turn my head and I see Jungkook, and I start filming it. My phone at this point again is plugged in. It was charging for the entirety of the fucking musical. There's no reason it should have died. It fucking dies. It dies. And I go into the line front store to like dry off and just like try to charge my phone. And the play that goes wrong starts at 7. And it's like 5:45 at this point. My phone dies. I have no idea what time it is anymore. I start looking around the store. I have genuinely no clue how long it takes for my phone to turn on. I think it takes maybe like 30 or 45 minutes, even though it was charging for the entirety of the fucking play and was not actually dead. It was just being dramatic. But I'm like looking around the line front store, and respectfully, the line front store in New York fucking sucks. There's nothing there that's that interesting, especially in comparison to the one in LA, the one that I always go to. Because that one's nice. It had like specific LA merch. Like I have a BT21 Los Angeles keychain from that store. They do not have anything New York specific at that store. And like their photo booth was also closed, which I'm like lame. Like they had some like really cute BT21 character statues that were like signed. That's the only interesting thing that they have in that store. There's nothing there that's like any better or more interesting than what they have in LA. So that was very disappointing. But now I can say that I've been. So that's something. Finally, my phone turns on, and I'm able to like take photos of the things in the store before I leave. It's like maybe 6:35, 6:40 by the time I leave the store. I'm in Times Square, so I'm on like 47th. I need to get up 45th, really. I'm at like 45th. I need to get up to 50th Street in order to get to the play that goes wrong. And I have not bought my ticket also as well. It's still pouring rain. So I'm like truly booking it to get to this play on time. It says on my, it had to have been 40 or 45. It says on like my Google Maps that it's going to take 15 minutes to walk there. So I'm going to get there right before the play is supposed to start. And again, I still do not have my ticket, so I need to like buy the ticket at the box office and then like get in. And that's the thing as well, is that at Times Square they have the TKS or whatever booth, which is like how you get like discount tickets for shows and stuff. And they said that they had discount tickets for The Plane That Goes Wrong, where I could have got one for like $48. And like I was thinking no, because that's the same as like a rush ticket when you show up to the box office. So I'm just gonna buy it at the box office. That was a mistake, because I finally make it to the box office and I make it under time. I make it at like 6:53, which I think incredible work. When you walk with length and purpose, you can get places very quickly. So I get there, I go to the box office, I'm like, are you selling any tickets left for The Plane That Goes Wrong? And they're like, yes, we are. Our cheapest ticket available is $99. And I don't want to complain, because again, we're supporting the arts. And this play was by far my favorite out of the 3 that I had seen this weekend. But I'm still just like, fuck, that's a lot of money. But I am deeply in debt at the moment. And we're about to go into comeback season, so I don't really have that sort of extra money to spare. But again, we're in New York, baby. What are we gonna do? So I go, I sit in my seat. I have a pretty good seat, honestly, close to the front. When I did get to my seat, though, there was somebody in it, so I had to get the usher to like tell him to scoot over. And they were very polite, but they were also very loud and very British. They clearly seen the show before, so they were just like doing a lot of like audience, like almost heckling, but it was more so like audience interaction with like the people on stage. And I'm like, shut up. They were just a little too chatty for my liking, but the play was incredible. I love that fucking show, and seeing it live was truly like a hoot and a howl. A hoot growl, if you will. It was so good. I don't want to spoil it, because I truly recommend that you watch it for yourself, but it was so good. And during intermission, I go down to concessions, because again, I am hungry and I want a little snack. And I do get a drink at the bar. I get another drink. But this one was only $11. So truly a steal in comparison. I also get some Sour Patch Kids, and I like have my little sippy sip, and it's a great time. At this point, the play ends. An incredible time. It's like maybe 9:30, and I need dinner. And I had planned this whole trip around going to BCD Tofu House at the end of my weekend, in order to just cap it off, because I always go to BCD when I'm in LA, and you always see at the bottom of like their mats that they have a location in Manhattan, and I had passed it during my long walk on Friday, so I was like, I should go. So I make it. I think I walked. Did I walk? Did I take the train? I think I might have taken the train. I took the train, because that would be really far to walk from the theater district to Koreatown. I go to BCD Tofu. I sit down. I order my food. That's the thing. Usually I get a combo where I get a sundubu and I get some like galbi, bulgogi, something like that. But they said no combos. But I could order the 2 things separately, which just felt like a scam. It felt like, because I was sitting and eating by myself, that they were like, well, we need to get some more money out of this person. Because I'm like, if you can just, if I could have the 2 things in the combo separately, then you could just make me the combo. But it's fine. I tipped well anyways, even though there were some really snooty people in there that I did not like the vibe of, but it was fine. I sat, I listened to some music, I ate my food, I had a great fun time. It was so much fucking food though, I was so full. But I finished my meal, and then I started heading out. And the night before, Chungmin had posted some photos on his Instagram, and I knew that they were somewhere in the city, and I saw that one of the signs on his photo said West 33rd Street, and I know that Koreatown has West 33rd Street, so I was like, somewhere around here is where he took those photos. I'm going to find all the locations that I can find and take photos where he took those photos. And I did. It only took like an hour, and I did in the pouring rain. It was like midnight at this point. In the pouring, freezing rain, in the middle of the night, all by my lonesome, just walked around like downtown and just like took little photos where Three Rancho was, because I was like, if I don't, I will lose my mind, because I miss them. I miss them so much already. Like I feel like the only like next big thing that's happening here for the rest of the year that they could like go to is the Dick Clark's New Year's Eve parties thing, and they have not announced the lineup for that yet, even though December is coming. TikTok. So I'm really, really, really hoping that they go. I just need them to like announce another schedule stateside, because I already miss them so desperately. I miss all my boys. I want all my boys back. I get all the photos that I need. My phone does in fact die during this excursion, even though it was charging the entirety of dinner. and was charging while I was doing all of this. So there was no reason for my phone to die, and I had to just sort of like stand under a little awning for like a good 30 minutes while my phone like decided to turn back on, because I was like, I need to figure out how to get back to my hotel from here. Like, I think I could have figured it out if I just like walked into Times Square and like tried to find the subway. But like, I also was in the middle of taking photos and I wasn't gonna leave without my photos. Also, another weird thing that happened at the restaurant when I was eating is I went down to like use the restroom before I left, and like there was somebody like cleaning the restroom, and like they were so upset at the fact that I had to use the restroom while they were cleaning it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I did not know that you were cleaning the restroom. And I don't know. It just felt, they had a very hostile energy. They seemed really upset with me. Like, while I was in the restroom, they like kept knocking to like get me out, and I'm like, I'm not taking a very long time. How about you calm down? And like the floor outside the restroom was super wet, and I like slipped and almost fell, and they did not care. So I will not be going back to that BC Tofu if I'm ever back in Manhattan. But that's just, I didn't love it. I didn't love it. But I go and I get all of my 3 Rancho photos. I find all of the locations. And then I go into Times Square and I take more photos and videos of like Jungkook's ad. V has an ad there for like Seoul tourism, which was really cool. And like their billboards are right next to each other, but they never played at the same time, so I couldn't get them in the same shot, which really broke my heart. And then also took some photos of like the Global Citizen Festival like advertisements. And then I start walking to the subway. And at this point, I also finally see some like rats. I had yet to see a New York rat, which was actually pretty nice. But they're like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like really desensitized because the last place I worked at had a horrible rat problem. But like the rats in New York are like very normal sized rats. And they're afraid of humans. But I go, they run away. So I don't know, the ones that I had to work with were not afraid of humans or anything, or death. They were fearless and evil and huge. So I was expecting that when I got to New York, and these were just like normal rats. But I do some walking. I am walking through, like past Times Square into the theater district, like kind of sort of looking for my subway, but also mostly just like walking around because it's the last time that I'm going to like be walking through here before I have to go because I have a flight the next morning to go home. And walking and I'm like, I really want dessert. So I look on my phone and I'm like, where can I get cheesecake? Because like New York cheesecake is one of my favorite desserts. And I'm in New York, so I should get a New York cheesecake. Thankfully, there is truly like, at the next block, there is a corner store that has cheesecake. So I go in and I get cheesecake and I eat it back at my hotel. And it is probably the best cheesecake I've ever had. It's so good. But I get that. And the guy working the counter was so kind. He gave me like a little napkin to like wipe off my glasses because my glasses were getting covered in water because it is pouring rain this entire time. The rain had never stopped. The rain never stops. But then, you know, I get on the subway. Oh, as I'm walking through the theater district right about to like get to my subway station, I turn my head to the left and I see it's the Funny Girl fucking on Broadway thing. And it still has all the ads up with Lea Michele's face on it, even though she's no longer in the show. So I'm like, I have to take photos. So I take a bunch of photos with like the Lea Michele advertisements that I sent to my friend who I've also converted into a clique. And I'm like, oh my god, it's Lea Michele on Broadway. That's so fucking crazy. So funny. Ha ha ha. And then I get on the subway and I go back to my hotel. And this is where everything starts to go horribly, 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 horribly wrong. So I get there and I sit down and I like just like relax for a little bit. I eat my cheesecake. I get back to my hotel a little bit before 2. My flight is at 9:30. Plenty of time between now and my flight. And I'm thinking I should leave around 6 to give myself plenty of time to get to the airport. And I didn't think that I needed a lot of time to get through security because the terminal that I fly out of is like pretty low key. There's not a lot of airlines that fly there. And every time that I checked like the TSA wait times around like that morning time that I was going to show up, it was saying like 3 minutes. So I was like, okay, I won't be stressed about having to get through TSA. It won't be a crazy long line. I'm eating my cheesecake and I'm just like watching stuff on YouTube and it becomes like 4 or 5 o'clock. It becomes like 4 o'clock probably. 4 o'clock. I kill about 2 hours. And then I'm like, I'm really tired. And I'm just like tired of like sitting. So I'm like, I'm going to lay down for a second. I had no intention of going to sleep. I specifically was like, I should not go to sleep because if I go to sleep, I'm not going to wake up on time. But I set an alarm just in case I didn't wake up. Of course, I ended up falling asleep. Because I laid down. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have laid down. I laid down and I fell asleep. And thankfully, my alarm went off. But I had not set the alarm for the right time. I had set it for 7. I think because also in my brain, I told myself it would only take an hour to get from Manhattan to JFK. So I would get there around like 8. And I think getting there at 8 for a 9:30 flight would give me an hour and a half, which would still be plenty of time. But that was the time that I need to leave. At no point have I mentioned packing, because at this point, I had not packed. But thankfully, as you have heard, I have not bought a lot on this trip. Like, I went to 2 different K-pop stores and didn't buy a single thing because I'm staying strong. And I'm deeply without money at the moment. So, packing was fairly easy, but it did take some time. So I, like, scrambled, because it's 7 a.m. and I did not mean to sleep. I fully overslept, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to fucking miss my flight. I throw all my things into my suitcase. I'm not able to find one of the keys for my luggage, but I'm like, I don't have time to care. I still don't know if that's like, if that key is in my suitcase or if I left it in New York. We will find out. And then I like run out the door and I run to the subway. The subway at 7:30 a.m. on a Monday morning? Fool. And I saw it too because I was like looking on my Google Maps and I was like, how much would it be if I got like an Uber? Because I'm like, I don't think I'm going to miss this fucking flight because I'm leaving so late. And it was like $90. And I was like, I don't have $90 to spend to get to the airport. We're just going to pray. We're going to hope and we're going to pray that we make it. So I get on the C, I head down to the E line. But, like, when you get off the C, you're in a completely different area than where you need to get on the E-line to make it to Jamaica Station. So, by the time, like, I get my suitcase, like, to the other side of the platform, I already see an E that's taking off. It was packed full, though. Like, packed full. Like, sardines packed full. So, there was no way I was getting on the train anyways. And then I stand there and I wait for the E for, like, another 10 minutes. At this point, it's, like, 8 a.m. And I'm like, I still have 2 more trains. There is no way I am making it on time. I'm going to be so late. But I was like, we still have to try. I have to get to the airport either way. We're going to try. And because I was thinking, if they can check bags at the gate, that's the thing. If I didn't have a check bag, this would have been no problem. But I always check a bag because I get free check bags with my credit card. Why wouldn't I check a bag? But, like, they check bags at the gate all the time. So, like, if they can check a bag at the gate, they should be able to check my bag at whatever time. Even though they do have, like, bag check cut off, like, 40 minutes before, like, the flight, like, departs. And, like, I get that. But it's also just, like, if you could check a bag at the gate, that you could check my bag now. But it's fine. I get on the E-train finally. It takes me into, the, what's it called? To the, like, air train area. I get on the air train. And I get to my terminal. That's the thing as well. Small tangent about the fucking Metro cards. Is that whenever they tell you to put money on it, you put it on in, like, weird increments. You put it on in like $8.50. You give it $25. But because every ride is $2.90, you're never left with the appropriate amount of money. You're always gonna have like a little bit left over in your card, which is so fucking annoying. Thankfully though, when I was heading back to my hotel, like after I had gotten my cheesecake and everything, I had put the correct amount of money. Like I did like the math to know exactly how much money I needed for my train ride back to my hotel and then my train ride out to the airport. So I put like the exact amount of money on my card. So my card should have 0 fund left in it. I don't know how to check that. I will try to figure it out. But I did perfect math, but I did not remember how much the air train was. So I did not put money on my card for the air train. So by the time I got to the air train station, I did have to wait in line to put more money on my card to get on the air train. Everything moved pretty quickly though. Like I got on the air train like pretty quickly and I got to my terminal. And I tried to check in at the little kiosk thing, but they're like, it's been too late. You have to go to like the walk-up desk. And at this point, it's like 9:10, and like the TSA line was 3 minutes. Like if I didn't have a check bag, if I just had a backpack, I would have made it no fucking problem because I checked in already and I had my boarding pass on my phone, and it was 9:10. So I was like, I would have fully made it. I would have fully made it onto this flight if I didn't have a check bag, but I had to check my bag. The thing won't scan for my check-in, so I have to go up to the gate in the person, and the lady's like, oh yeah, you missed your flight. Even though it's 9:10, and the flight has not taken off. So, like, I don't know. I get it. You can't make accommodations for everybody because that's how you stay on your, like, really strict time schedule, but also just, like, I should have been able to make it on that flight. I should have been able to make it on that flight. And she was like, just know for future reference, you should always try to get here 2 hours early. And I'm like, I know. But also, 1, I did not intend to be this late. But also, 2, most of the time you don't need to be 2 hours early to the airport. Like, I am often like an hour and a half early to all of my flights. And I'm just waiting around before boarding time because it does not take that long to get through TSA. In my experience, to the places that I have flown through. But as I've discussed, as I've previously mentioned, JFK is the worst fucking airport in the world. And I hate it there. At this point, I'm like freaking out because I'm supposed to work this evening. Like my flight was going to land at 12:45 and I had work at 3. So I also just like ham it up a little bit because I'm like, I need her to feel like she was also being like, I don't know, like there's a difference in my mind between like New Yorker direct and being rude, and she just like seemed really like annoyed with me that I was showing up so late for my flight, and I'm like, I didn't, this was not intentional. So then I start like, I'm not like faking having a panic attack, but like I'm hamming it up a little bit, and I'm like really shaking my hands, and I'm like looking really distressed, and she like automatically started like she dropped her tone with me, and she's like, oh my god, no, like baby, you're fine, like don't stress, you're gonna get on this next flight and I'm gonna rebook you and you're gonna be fine. And I'm like, thank you, that's the energy we needed to be bringing to this situation in the first place. And because I always book the cheapest flight available, she said it's supposed to be like a use it or lose it, but I'm gonna rebook you on this next flight absolutely for free. And I'm like, thank you so much. But the next flight is not until 4:45 in the evening. It is 9:10 as I had mentioned. So she gets me my thing, my new ticket. So I just have to sit at the JFK airport for 6 hours. It wasn't that horrible because I did bring my laptop with me, but it was not great. Like thankfully, right when I sat down, like Yunjin went live, and that was everything that I needed, because it was Moa's birthday. And he went live to like say hi, tell us that he loves us, and I really needed that because I was really going through it at this point. Because also as soon as I like figured out that I missed my flight, like I obviously like texted my family to be like, don't pick me up at the airport because I missed my flight. I also then needed to call out of work. And when you call out of work, you call like this basically hotline number, and whoever's on call that day is going to pick up the phone. And you don't know who's going to be on call until like they answer the phone. And I call, and like somebody just answers, and she's like, hello, and she doesn't say her name or anything, she just says hello, and I say, hello, I'm Sam, I need to call out my shift at 3 p.m. today because I'm not gonna be able to make it. She's like, okay, did you find coverage? And I'm like, no, because I'm out of town right now and I don't have my work phone on me, so I can't call anybody. And she's like, well, did you know you were going to be out of town? And I said, yeah, but there was an issue with my flight, is what I said specifically, because I'm like, I'm not going to tell her I missed my flight because she's already giving me so much sass, so much judgment. So I say, yeah, there was an issue with my flight, so I was supposed to get in this morning, but that's not going to happen, so I won't be able to make it in. And then she was like, okay, so are you going to be able to find coverage, or is that something you need me to do for you? And I'm like, I thought we already established the fact that I don't have my phone and I can't be finding coverage right now. So then I say, I don't have my work phone on me, so I don't have any numbers to call. Like, you can give me the numbers and I can call them, but I don't have any numbers to call. And she's like, okay, thank you. And then I hang up the phone, and I just felt like she was so rude and really unhelpful in an already obviously stressful situation. I didn't have time to deal with that. But then I sit in like the baggage claim area where there's like lots of like charging ports and whatever, and I sit and I watch Yeonju's live. And then I go get food. And as I mentioned before, this terminal has a Dunkin', but it only has coffee and donuts. So I have to go back on the air train to a completely different fucking terminal to go get real food, because there's no fucking food at this terminal pre-security. So I have to go all the way to Terminal 8. I go to the Dunkin' and I put in a mobile order, because I download the Dunkin' app and everything in order to like figure out like if the Dunkin' that's there actually has like their full menu, or if it's like the Dunkin' that was in my terminal and it only has a limited menu, because I wanted to like check that all out beforehand. So I see that the Dunkin' over there like has their full menu. I put in a mobile order for my maple bacon sandwich, my mango coconut refresher, hash browns, and my mini everything bagels. Not a complicated order at all. I'm waiting maybe about 20 minutes and I have heard nothing. So then I go up to the cashier and I'm like, hey, I put in a mobile order. And she's like, oh yeah, so it's like, so you're going to be waiting over there. And she points to like the pickup counter. And that's where I had been waiting for like 20 minutes. So then she goes over and she like looks at all the stickers and all like the receipts and everything. And she's like, what's the name? And I said, oh, it's for Sam. And then she like points to the screen and she's talking to the lady who's making the orders. And I've been watching her like this whole 20 minutes and she's very slow. She's making these orders so slow, and I'm like, there are constantly like a stream of people coming in. She's never gonna get through all these orders because she's working so fucking slow. But she points to my order and it's the first one on the list, and it's clear that it's been on the screen like flashing red being like, you have to make this order for like a while, because I've been waiting there for 20 fucking minutes. And then she like tells the lady who's like making the orders, hey, you have to like make this order. And she makes my drink, which is like very nice of her. She like steps away from like the cash register to make my drink. So at least I have my drink. Then the lady finally starts making my food. It takes maybe like another 10 minutes for her to like get me my order. And she hands me like a bag with the sandwich and the mini everything bagels in it. And there are no hash browns. But I see her put a bunch of hash browns like on a little tray and put it into the oven. So I'm like, okay, well maybe those are my hash browns. I just have to wait for a little bit. She takes those like hash browns from like the oven. She puts them in 2 little baggies and then she gives them to somebody else who's waiting. And then as she's like calling out the order and somebody else comes to pick it up, she looks at me like, why are you still standing there? And I'm like, you didn't give me any hash browns. There are hash browns that are supposed to be in my order. And she like looks at me like a little incredulously, like I'm lying to her or something. And she's like just like looks at me like she doesn't believe me, like she's annoyed that I'm just sort of standing there and like, I don't know, being a Karen, even though I'm really not. And she like looks back at the order and she sees that like, oh yeah, there are hash browns in the order. And she looks at me and she's like, oh ha ha ha, I didn't even see that there, oh my god. And like she's like looking at me and like trying to like joke with me, like we're on joking terms. And I'm like, I have been here for 45 minutes. I don't actually say this, but this is why I say it in my heart. I'm like, I've been here for 45 minutes. Just make my fucking hash browns. I don't have time to joke with you. This isn't funny. I've been waiting 45 minutes for this order. There's no reason it should be taking this long. So she's just like looking at me. She's going like, ha ha ha. And she sees I'm like, I'm not laughing. Like, this is not funny. I'm so hungry and I've been through enough fucking stress today. Like, I just need my order. So she goes and she like makes the hash browns and she gives them to me. And I'm like, I don't even say thank you. I just take it and I walk away because I'm like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I'm just like in such a sour mood because of everything that's happened and because like 45 fucking minutes to wait for these fucking for this food. It was just ridiculous. I go back. It's like 12 o'clock at this point, and the lady who had given me my ticket told me specifically to go and check in my bag at 1. So I'm like there, I'm sitting and I'm eating, and I'm like very fucking tired. I'm so fucking tired because this day has been stressful, and I also did not sleep at all the night before because I was anticipating sleeping on the plane. But then just like before, just like what had gotten me in the situation in the first place, I accidentally go to sleep. And I had specifically been trying so hard not to sleep as I'd been waiting to check in because I was like, if I oversleep and I miss this second rebooked flight, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. So I accidentally fall asleep and I wake up and it's like 1:12 and I'm like, fuck, okay. I need to hurry up and like go like check in my bag or whatever. So then I go back up to like the little kiosk things and I like scan my boarding pass in order to print out my bag tags, and my bag tags will not print. I go to 3 different machines, my bag tags will not print. So I'm like, I have to go into like the assistant line again. And I wait there for like truly 20 minutes because there's one lady working and she's helping everybody except for me. She's like getting the first class people first, which I get, but then she gets all the other people who like are in line to like do the bag drop off until she finally gets to me. And she's like, how can I help you? And I'm like, my bag tags won't print. And she's able to print it, and it's truly like such a painless, easy process. I don't know why it seemed like so difficult for me to get service, but like I get it. She's the only person working. That's not her fault. I'm just mad at the situation. But it truly takes like 30 minutes for me to like get my bags tagged and like drop them off. And then I'm like, well, at this point I might as well just like get in line for security because there's no point in me being in the pre-security area anymore. Like I've dropped off my bag because I was thinking I'm gonna drop off my bag and then I'm gonna sit down and like continue eating and then I will like go through the line. But I was like, I might as well just like go through the line now because who has the time? Because it's already like 1:45, it's almost 2 o'clock at this point, and my flight takes off at 4:45, and I'm like, I might as well just like go through. And the security line took so fucking long. I did not realize this at first, but this terminal that my airline's in is also the same terminal as like a big international like airline. So a lot of the people going through TSA have like passports and have to do like a whole like, I don't know, international screening system, and it just takes so long. There's also only like 2 people working the TSA line, so the line that I was anticipating when I first got to the airport being like 3 minutes, it's 30 minutes. It took so long to get through TSA. But finally, I get through TSA. Oh, a thing I completely forgot to mention is that there's 2 people working TSA, but like right around the time that I get to the front, or I get like towards where the main line like actually starts to like see somebody, show them my ID, show them my boarding pass, they finally get like a new person up and like situated in like the little booth thing. And they're like, you go over there, go to that person. I said, okay, no problem. I'm gonna go because I want to get out of this fucking line. And I go to the booth person and I start to like hand them my ID, my boarding pass, because that's what they need to like get on with their job. And then they are like, hold on. And then he puts like one of those hard caramel candies into his mouth. He like unwraps it and puts it in his mouth. And I'm like, you see how long this fucking line is? You're really making me wait so that you can eat a candy? It just felt, I don't know, on top of everything else, it felt just like really disrespectful and really annoying and really got under my skin. But I get past him, I get past security, and then I go and I sit in the waiting area for my flight for like another 2 hours. And I eat the rest of my food. It's very cold at this point because security took for fucking ever. But it's only like 3 o'clock at this point, so I only have to wait for like another like hour and a half. I do the waiting, I watch some YouTube, I get on the flight. That's the thing as well, is that right before I like get up to get on the flight, because like in theory I should always be in boarding group seat because I have the credit card to like get early boarding, but I'm like, I had a middle seat on this flight, and like my least favorite thing is getting up during a flight or getting up once I had already sat down in my seat. So I was like, if the person who has the window seat comes after me, I'm gonna have to get up. And I don't want to do that. So I want to be one of the last people on the flight because I don't need like overhead storage or anything. So like they call like A and B group, and then on like the little like signs everywhere that tell you like the status of all the boarding flights, it says that my flight's already at last call, but my flight also started boarding late. So I'm thinking it's maybe going on like a timer system, but it's like really stressing me out that the board says that it's on last call when they haven't even called like group C yet. But I'm packing up all my things and I'm like, I should get some water for this flight before it takes off. So, and there's no water fountains in this area of the terminal. So that's incredible. I have to like run to the other side of the terminal, fill my water bottle with water, and then run back. And again, I'm really stressed out because I'm like, if I miss this flight because I'm getting water, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. But again, when I left, they had only called A and B group. I think they had just started calling C, but like the last 3 groups, they really hadn't started calling, and the line was still very, very long to like board the flight. Thankfully, I get my water. I do not miss boarding. There's still a very long line of people outside the door. They scan my boarding pass, and then I get on the plane. And again, I had anticipated sleeping on this flight, but that was when it was a morning flight. Now I'm going to be landing at like 9 p.m. in the middle of the night. And I don't see the point in sleeping to be well rested to go back to sleep once I get home. So I just make the decision to just like stay up on my flight. I'm like, it's a long enough flight that I can take out my laptop, I can watch some Gose, I can get that free like flight Wi-Fi thing. And this ends up being very useful because the lady in the fucking window seat, one, was very chatty for no good fucking reason. But also got up multiple times during the flight to use the bathroom. And I'm like, if you are somebody who knows that you're going to use the bathroom during the flight, you cannot get a window seat. You simply have to get an aisle seat. If you know you have to do a lot of getting up, stop making me and the girl who's sitting in the aisle get up with you. Because then I have to like unplug my laptop, bring my laptop with me, shuffle out of the aisle, hold my laptop, and then come back and sit down. And I have to get up and do it again when she comes back. This happened multiple times throughout the flight. It was so fucking annoying. And like on the last time she did, she was like, oh, thankfully like the flight attendant said that there's only like an hour and a half left in this flight. Thank God. And I'm like, this isn't a long flight. It's 6 hours. And she just like, I don't know, she talked about the flight like it was such a like a long, arduous task to get through, and I'm like, it's a 6-hour flight, it's not that crazy. Like you are making it hard because you have to keep getting up when you shouldn't have had the window seat to begin with. And she said, oh, I've just been drinking too much water and coffee. And I'm like, okay, well if you're getting on a flight, don't do that. I don't know, it just seemed pretty, she was already on my nerves, but again, this has been a stressful day already. So I sit, I watch a couple episodes of Gose, it was very nice, and then I finally land back home. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock I get home. I was supposed to get on a 9:30 flight that morning. It had taken me over 12 hours to get home. It was a true nightmare. And being in JFK that long really showed me that JFK is the worst airport in the world. And I will never be going back. Never ever. Never ever ever will I be going back. My God, I hate that fucking airport. But I thankfully do. I make it home safely. All my stuff is good. I go and have dinner with my family, and then I go the fuck to bed. And then this fucking cold starts to develop And I'm now just recovering from that. But that is it. That is my weekend in New York, my Global Citizens Festival trip. As you could tell, it was a harrowing, arduous journey. Imagine living it. I am still so very tired, and telling the story was exhausting. My throat hurts. But I won the NyQuil challenge. I felt the drowsiness kick in, and I probably should have just gone to sleep, but I fought through it. And now, not tired at all. We did it. But lots of lessons learned on this trip. Lots of lessons learned. Another thing though is that I was supposed to meet up with one of my old coworkers because somebody that I used to work with, he moved to New York, and he said, if you're ever in New York, hit me up. And I said, I will do that. And he had said it before with like the implication that, hey, you will have somebody to stay with if you're in New York. So I hit him up, and I did not imply that in my message. I said, is there a good area for me to stay in when I go to New York? And he had recommended Astoria, which is why I originally had a place to stay in Long Island City, because Long Island City is just a little bit south of Astoria. And then I told him, when I'm in town, if you have any time or you want to, I'd love to grab a drink and catch up. And he said, yes, absolutely. And then I get into the city, and I post on my story that I'm in the city, and he messages me, and he's like, oh, stay safe. And I said, thank you. If you have any time this weekend, I would love to get a drink and catch up. And he said, yeah, when are you free? And I told him the times I was free, and he fucking left me on red. Why would you tell me you wanted to get drinks if you didn't actually want to get drinks? Because I gave him multiple opportunities socially in this conversation to say, no, I don't have the time. I'm so sorry. I said, if you have the time, or if you want to get drinks. He could have easily been like, sorry, I have to work. Sorry, I have this obligation. I can't make the time. But I hope that you have a good time in New York. And it would have been no fucking problem. But for him to be like, yeah, I definitely want to like hang out, like what time? And then I tell him the time, and he's just like, I don't know. I thought that was really fucking rude. Like I said, lots of lessons learned. I now know to never fly into JFK. I now know not to pay for a fucking Metro card. The fucking scammiest scam in the world. I know to not go during raining season because I will get sick. And I know also that for next year's Global Citizen Festival that I will book early in advance so that I'm not stuck at a hotel that does not have consistent hot water for their showers, because that was very annoying. But I'm going to go to bed now. I don't know when I'm going to edit this video, but this video will get out on Thursday. It will just be late because, as you could tell, I'm wrought with illness. So I think I deserve a pass. I am so incredibly proud of Sriracha and JK. I cannot imagine how stressful those performances were with all of the rain. Like, having to perform in the rain is already stressful, but like, not to be without your full group that you're used to performing with, I imagine, is already very, very stressful. I hope that us in the crowd gave you lots of love and encouragement, because they put on incredible shows, and I love them so much, and I hope I get to see them perform again. And that being said, if it could be in not New York and not someplace that's raining, that'd be great. Because the last 3 times I've gone out of town to see a K-pop group, it's been fucking raining. I'm fucking tired of it. Anyways, I hope you are doing well. I hope you are not wrought with illness. I hope that you didn't have to stand out in the fucking pouring cold-ass rain for hours and got a fucking horrible cold. I hope that the next time that you go to New York, that you don't fly into JFK. Because it's an absolute nightmare. And I hope that the next Global Citizen Festival has good weather. Because as much as I love Sriracha and JK, I'm weak. I cannot do that rain shit again.